Was good, was good, was good. Been fighting this cold. I'm gonna give it like another half a second, then we're gonna get into it. That's exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this tanking situation. First things first, though. What's good, everybody? How y'all been? Can y'all hear me? Put a one up if you can hear me. I'm still fighting this cold. I've been sick the last couple days. I ain't been sick in like 5 years since I had COVID in 2020. It's my first time getting sick again in like 5 years. But yeah, it's too many teams tanking at the same time. That's the problem now. That's going to be a problem for like the next 10, 15 years probably. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's too many teams tanking. Now that's going to be a dilemma because a third of the NBA is actually tanking on purpose, allegedly. But you know it's competitively tanking. But if you got 10 teams out of 30 tanking on purpose or competitively tanking, what's the purpose? Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to really get what they want in the end because they're all jamming each other up. That's why I was so like leery about this whole concept of us continuously, when it don't start out right, going to this tanking conversation. Because what's going to happen is this is a copycat season. It's a copycat league. When you see Masai Ujiri making these incredible ass decisions, and we're benefiting from competitively tanking, but we know what the agenda is. We know how to load manage guys to make sure we get the right amount of wins and losses, still keep the developmental process in order, and make it look believable to the point where we continue to be competitive and develop, but also put ourselves in a position to prosper a lot sooner than later. A lot of teams have been watching that shit. Motherfuckers been taking notes. So now you got the lower 10 teams in total copying what the fuck he's doing, thinking it's gonna work for them. And all they doing is just jamming themselves up and jamming us up in the process. So now we had the philosophy down going into like the last. Now we can't even give a game away. We went from, all right, we good. We did enough to solidify a nice pick. Now people are saying seventh. Was this all worth the seventh pick? When you throw in the Brandon Ingram situation and you throw in the possibilities this summer, it seemed like it felt like it was worth it. But now it's just so many copycat organizations trying to tank along with it. Not even tank, but trying to put their hat in this, find a new talent pool. Now it's becoming corny. Because what it's going to go from is going to go from 10% of the league to 12% to 15% to 20% of the league competitively tanking. Because there's only but, 8 teams really, 10 teams really in the NBA who really got their shit together to compete in the playoffs heavy. Then you got the 6th seed, 7th seed. Those are young teams or teams, who plagued by injuries and shit. But the top 8 teams, which are pretty much the same guys the last few years, they're competing for, elevation, trying to get to the conference finals, maybe the finals, whatever that conversation is. But they know how to play that regular season hustle. A lot of teams just want to compete in the regular season because that's where the money's being made. And in the playoffs, that's when you cash out. We're in this space where we're coupled with a lot more teams than we expected. So now everybody's waiting for other teams' shit to phase out, kind of like what they were doing in the 90s and the 80s, waiting for the Lakers to fizzle out, waiting for the Celtics to fizzle out, waiting for the Bulls to fizzle out, waiting for the Knicks. Right now, some teams are just waiting for other teams to fizzle out. Everybody's waiting for LeBron to leave the Lakers, to beat the fuck out of them. Everybody's waiting for Kawhi to leave. Philly is done. Everybody's waiting for the Cavs to get their reality check in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So everybody just waiting for certain phases to run their course while trying to develop. And it's going to get to the point where more teams are going to get into this space where they're trying to competitively tank and develop themselves without any real expectation. It's dodging expectation of competing and winning. And we can't continue to have that. If you genuinely love basketball, you can't fucking watch something that's non-combative and non-competitive, that just looks pseudo-competitive, kind of competitive, maybe sort of competitive enough to be entertaining, to make it believable. But it's not what we grew up on. You know what I mean? Nobody's like, the agony of defeat is gone. Motherfuckers don't care about losing. They just want to go through the motions and keep it moving because they know they've seen too much of the show. So now it's not believable. You know what I mean? And that messes the whole adventure up for us as fans. Like, we don't even want to be a part of the ride until it's something more substantial on the table, like a championship. And they don't even respect championships no more, because now it's about how you win. Because the Celtics, all intents and purposes, should be respected a little bit more, but they went a sucker way about it. The way they won their championship wasn't the Brad Stevens system that everybody respected. This is some new Steph Curry imitation shit they doing. It worked, but nobody respects it. So it's like they never really won a championship anyway. You can just throw that in the same fucking category with the Lakers winning in the fucking bubble. Same thing. No one's respecting it. So it's like we're in this weird space. And it could get worse. Hopefully it doesn't before it gets better. And I don't want us to be a part of the worst part of it. And I hate losing. I don't give a fuck what if they beat us, cool. Like, I accept the losses. But if we're tanking to get a piece in hopes of it becoming something, as opposed to developing something into a piece, a cog that we could use, a professional already in the game, as opposed to someone who has to become a professional, buying us more time, at some point, you stop wanting to buy yourself time and just accept that the time is now. Let's win now. Let's figure this shit out now. Because at some point, we still got to figure out how to win. How many more pieces are we going to need? So we get this piece, and they get their pieces. And the teams that are in position get better. And we get better. We still got to figure out how to beat everybody. We still got to figure out how to win. We still got to figure out how to compete. We still got to figure out how to do the job. We can't duck the responsibilities, no matter how much personnel we got to bring in and develop and train and try out. At some point, we got to create that winning culture. That job has yet to start. We're still trying to get the right personnel. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as the right personnel. It's the right training program. It's the right system. And you just plug them into the system. It's one of them things where I love when we win, but now it's like we winning, and it's like it's hurting the whole concept of not losing but sacrificing certain games so that we can be in position to get a better player so that we can truly compete. But now everybody else is doing it. That's what makes it corny. That's what makes it annoying. Because now it's starting to become a trend. It's starting to become a subculture of the NBA culture. So soon we're going to have damn near 3 types of fucking tiers in the NBA. Teams that are competitively tanking, teams that are on the brink of making the playoffs, not kinda, the 6 to 10, and then the 1 through 5 who are playoff teams. And it's just going to stay that way, and it's not going to be competitive because you got all these different agendas, and there's no real talent coming. You're lucky if any of these kids really translate into the player you want in the time that you need them to, before you trade them or make moves or whatever. I like the fact that we're winning, but it's like, come on now. We can't even enjoy it. We should be enjoying every win. We shouldn't be agonizing and being like, damn, it's costing us what we sacrificed so much to get. And it's not about Cooper Flag. I don't think he's our answer. I never thought he's our answer. I like Ace Bailey a lot better. We got enough. Like, the only thing I really walk away from this whole experience with is we found some guys that aren't afraid to take shots. There's nothing wrong with finding some shooters. We got a lot of gunners with confidence in their shot and who aren't afraid to miss a shot. They get a good look, they're going to take it. Shout out to AJ Lawson. I like Battle. I liked him since the fucking Summer League. Jamal Shed. We found another dog. I've never seen a 6'1" National Defensive Player of the Year. Back in the day, the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year was considered the top tier defensive award ahead of National Defensive Player of the Year because that normally went to a center. But for a guard to get that at 6'1", and now he's developing into someone who's a dual threat who can guard and produce and run an offense, you don't find those every day. And it makes, the Marquise Noel situation a little tolerable because I hate the fact that we let him go. But I understand. We might not have a Jamal Shed if we keep him. But shout out to Marquise. But right now, we just got to get through this season because it seems like they're giving us games. No matter who we put in there, no matter who they put in there, they trying to give us games. They're trying to ruin our opportunity to get the best possible pick. They don't want us to move up no higher than 7. And now they're saying the Duke center is a good option. He might be 7. That's cool. I like his game as well. He serves a purpose. I would rather have Ace Bailey though. But if we can get another big and have him come off the bench, and then, I'm cool with that. But yeah, it's just even the wins you can't really enjoy. You're just seeing the performances. We all know that this is a tryout for all the other guys. I'm still trying to figure out where the hell Chris Boucher is, why the coach ain't playing him. Like, that's wild. Like, if anybody deserves to play with this group, it should be Chris. He should be co-signing everybody that's going to be in the second unit, as opposed to alienating him from the process, unless he's solidified or you trying to keep him away from a bonus. But I don't see why we don't play Chris Boucher more. You know what I mean? And I haven't heard of any injury, but it's crazy. Let's see. I mean, if he can continue to develop, anybody can replace Abaji. Because he's only good in transition right now. He hasn't put his game together fast enough, which is what everybody issue with him was. He has all the athleticism. He's physically like fit and perfectly made up physically to be the 2 guard or to come off the bench and play that 2 guard. But he got to develop the skill sets to maximize that athleticism in the build. He might not have enough time. Okay, Chris got his wisdom too. All right. Okay, cool. Now if he got that done, if Chris got his wisdom too pulled, then I could respect them not keeping him, them letting him sit out. All right, cool. I just didn't understand why he was out. You know what I mean? Because you really don't want this unit with Chris Boucher running around, that energy, that shit would have been it would have been great to watch. I hope we keep him. I hope we keep Chris. We can't trade everybody. Some things like some energetic pieces you got to keep. If we're gonna keep a veteran, I'd rather have Chris than, the social worker that we got. But I don't like with the direction right now with all this theory of sacrificing games in hopes of finding that magic piece. We already lack the competitiveness that we're used to. As a fan that's been around since the fucking 80s. There's no real competition. You know what I mean? And everybody understands the systems. They got to fill a void. Only a few guys get to do what they want. Everybody else got to play a role. And you're telling that to guys who've been that guy, forcing other guys to play that role their whole career. And I get it. That takes time. Because when you've been the man your whole career, high school, college, you've been the man for the last 10 years of your life, playing organized basketball. You get to the league and then they say, all right, you got to come off the bench for the first time in your life. And then you got to figure it out after having never came off the bench. The only guys that can really come off the bench and produce at the pro league are guys who came off the bench back in the day. A lot of these kids that are in the NBA have never came off the bench. They've been stars. The NBA picks stars. Most of these kids been stars, so it crushes the ego. And then you got to fill a void, and a lot of these kids don't want to be a part of the role playing, situation. They used to being stars. They used to having all that time. They used to having all those opportunities. Now you got 7 minutes and maybe 3 shots. That's it. And you still got to practice. You still got to be prepared. You still got to over prepare for your opportunity for those 7 minutes. If you get that, you might get 7 minutes every other night. And I get it. It takes a little we get it. You got to get used to that. But organizations they need competition. We need to see it as fans, and we're not getting that same level of competition we're used to seeing because guys are giving up. You're seeing parts of certain guys who were stars their whole life die right in front of us, early deaths. As soon as they get to the NBA, they get neutered. They've been dogs their whole life. They've been on a hunt their whole life. They get to the league, they get neutered. Now they just a shell of themselves. Especially after y'all watched them all these years on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Now they get to the league and they're just all they could do is accept the fact that they got a little bit more money because they're not able to live the dream the way they used to, and it kills them a little bit. I understand that, but when you're looking at it from the fans' perspective, we're sacrificing our time as well to watch. And if 10, 12, and 13 or 14% of the league is sacrificing games in hopes of getting a pick and then neutering the kid when he gets to the league, and the media being the media, it's a recipe for destruction. It's only going to make things more difficult for us to watch. We knew Kevin Durant was going to get opportunities. We knew LeBron was going to get his opportunities. We knew a lot of guys that were coming into the league were going to get an opportunity to shine. Now guys get drafted. You might see a top 5 in the G League. You might see the whole first round in the G League for a couple games, as opposed to getting NBA exposure and letting them fail forward. It's tough to watch. It's frustrating. And how do we get through all that and navigate as an organization and get back to winning? And not just winning, but winning big and consistently winning big. We're going to need veterans, or we're going to have to wait for our young guys to become the veterans. How much time does the front office have? How much time does Masai have? Like, how much time? We as fans, we've been sacrificing seasons since what? 72 away games? Keep saying next season, next season, next season, next season. We sacrificing for the betterment. At some point, just fight for it. Because Cleveland is not that good. They're confident. They're comfortable. 2 small guards. We've seen that before. We know how that works out. 2 6'1", 6'2" guards. We've had that. And our guys were dogs. I would love to see a prime Kyle and fucking Fred versus Darius Garland and fucking Donovan Mitchell, who I like. That would be that's worth the price of admission. I don't think they got that dog in them. Tell you the truth. I don't think none of them do. Outside of Jalen Brunson, everybody else is soft. They got a breaking point. We're going to see it in the playoffs. We're one step away. A lot of it is confidence. And we're going to have to rebuild our confidence in the midst of having a young new player, new system, all that. Running out of time. Darko running out of time. You know what I mean? Like Scottie, he's redefining his role, which is cool. We know what type of player he got to be. Cool. He's no longer, he's going to be that glue guy. I'm cool with that. I'm happy. If he can get us 14 and 10 and we win by 19, I'm with it. If he can get us 16 and 12, 12 rebounds, or 14 and 12 rebounds and 7 assists, and we win by 20, and we win by 10, and he can cruise, because basketball shouldn't be hard for Scottie because he could do everything. He don't have to be the superstar on this team. He just got to save the superstar on this team. Let somebody else be the superstar. You be the superhero to the superstar. When he get beat off the dribble, toss that shit into the stands. When he missed that jump shot, that's your putback easy. When you run that transition break, he know he got to be in front of you or he ain't getting the rock. Players like Scottie are needed. I've been saying this since the beginning. We put him on a pedestal because we didn't have anybody for him to play off of. Now we do. Now we get the chance for him to be in his normal, natural role. Magnificent role player. He can still be an all-star. He can still be all NBA. He can still be a Hall of Famer. He can still be a champion. He just can't have a spotlight on him constantly. He needs time to be able to do other things on the court. Can't do that if you're saying we need you to score 30 or we want you to score 30. And he's not necessarily that type of scorer. But he can get you 12, 13 rebounds. He can get you 7, 8, 9 assists with the right pieces around. And he can still get you 18, 19 points a game. It'll average itself out. He could easily average a triple-double. It's not difficult for him. But he got to be in the right situation. And this is the right situation. We got guys who are not afraid to pull that trigger. This ain't a Nick Nurse system. This is I like the group of young guys we got. We got some interesting gunners. We got a lot of guys that can shoot, that aren't afraid to shoot. That's the beginning of it. Who can hit a shot. And we got a point guard that could come off the bench, defend, and run the offense and feed those guys. We only missing the dog. That's it. Now, it's never too soon. It's never too soon. I think we right on time, too. I think having to do the rebuild the way they did it was just a massive overhaul. You know what I mean? Took a little more time than expected. A lot more sacrificing than expected. But yeah, we definitely still on pace. It's just we got to start. The tough part about this whole thing is now you got to get them out of tanking into competing and winning, which means they're going to be vulnerable. The hardest part about competing is when you lose. After you give it everything you got and you lose, that shit is painful. Once they learn how to deal with that and they become comfortable with that uncomfortable space of, all right, I gave everything I could, we still lost, we got to go back to the drawing board, then we on to something special. We on the fast track and we'll have that momentum we need. But it's just that once we got to get out that phase of the tanking portion, because that's a mentality that we can't have them like enjoy. We can't have them planning vacations in the middle of the season thinking that it's over. Everybody got to be committed. Go all in. We gonna keep rolling. There ain't no vacation until somebody gets us the fuck up out of there, or we win it all. There's only two options: either we lose in one of these rounds, or we win it all. But ain't no vacations. Once we get back to that mentality, we're fine. But it takes a lot of work. And right now, everybody's trying out to be a part of this whole movement. It's dope though. It's dope though. I think we on the right pace. It's not even. See what I'm saying? It's the mentality that comes with the tanking that's hard to shake off. The habits that come with the tanking that's hard to shake off. See, when you hear kids talk about tanking, they don't see, they don't see the tsunami. They see the butterfly flapping his wings, but they don't see 5 years later that there's a tsunami that you got to deal with. It's the butterfly effect. You can't give up and then expect it not to weigh in on the other end. It's always going to come back to you. You got to shake that mentality. That's the hardest part. Basketball is more internal than anything. You got these dudes now, they got to convince themselves that they can beat the Cavs, that they can beat Boston, after going in there saying something else. Now they got to trust the coach's system. Even if it look like it don't work, they still got to trust it. And understand, like, listen, if the shit break up, we still got to believe in what's working. That's going to be tough to do. You know what I mean? And right now, it's like, I know what comes after this. We're going to make progress, but I think we're going to sacrifice Darko. I think Darko is going to be a sacrificial piece. I just see that happening. And he's not, he might be better fit for college. You know what I mean? Or he may get another opportunity somewhere else. But I think right here, I think once we get it rolling a little bit, or it looks like the kids are good as far as the performance portion, but it's just the system isn't fitting. They're gonna get rid. They're gonna sacrifice the coach because they're not gonna want to wait until everybody latches on and it starts to bear fruit, especially in the third season. If we don't get it done halfway through next year, I think the decision is already gonna be made. You know what I mean? So I think there's gonna be a coaching switch within the next year. That has nothing to do with Darko as a coach. I just see it as it's going to be something that's going to be necessary to get that new blood, that new thought wave in. Because I don't think these kids, as they develop and they try to go up against what they're used to doing mentally and the habits, you're going to need someone to help them get to that next level. And they may not believe that this guy can get it done. They might play for him, but we've all played for coaches we ain't necessarily believe in as far as the system and to get us where we're going to go. Everybody serves a purpose. It's just a reality. And I'd rather us had this understanding early than later on. So when it does happen, it's like, all right, we already talked about it. We good. We on to the next shit. We've been on it. Like stuff, the last time I talked to you, I was like 10 days ago. A lot of stuff that we talked about, people are talking about the whole time I was sick. I'm like, damn, we already talked. All right, cool. I'm gonna lay up, get better, and then then I'll come back and knock everything out the park again and get back to work. But this cold been kicking my ass the last couple of days. I ain't been sick in 5 years. It's crazy. I think if we did, I don't think a coach has to push Scottie. Scottie has been since I've seen him a guy who's a great asset to a superstar. Not even a superstar, but a guy who's considered the star, where that pressure is off of him. He feels I'm telling you, he's gonna be perfect in this new role. This is where he's gonna be able to shine because there's no pressure on him to be the superstar. Scottie has never been the superstar anywhere. He's always been the guy that supports the superstar. He's the guy that the superstar relies on without him having to be the superstar. It's like a Scottie Pippen type thing. Mike relied on Scottie and the team relied on Scottie. That's what made Pippen so valuable. Everybody deferred and looked at Scottie as the guy they can talk to. Mike was like unapproachable. But if you talk to Scottie, Scottie talked to Mike. And if you got a chance to talk to Mike, it's because you were good enough. And he respected you. Other than that, you went through Scottie. Same thing here. You let the superstar be the superstar. Scottie gets to play his original role of supporting cast, big time supporter. The rest will be history. We found the right guy. Let Brandon do what Brandon does, which is score. I don't think a coach got to push Scottie. Once Scottie gets back into his comfortable role, when there's no pressure on him to be the superstar and deliver the way that we want him to deliver, he's not Kevin Durant. He's not LeBron. He's none of those guys. And he's still young. And he's trying to figure out, how do I get there? Not knowing these guys have worked on that same game since they were 12. And he's trying all new shit. He hasn't had a chance to play his original game since his rookie season. When he came to us his rookie year, that was the last time he played his original position. He just filled the void and was great at it. Won Rookie of the Year. We won 48 games. He played a big part in it. Then we all wished for more. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Cool. Now we put him back in his original place of supporter. Everything gets back to normal. Coach ain't gonna have to tell Scottie what to do. I think Scotty's got all the assets to do everything we need him to do to win the game. Like I said, if he can get a 16 and 10 or 15 or 19 and 12 or 19 and 18 rebounds, whatever it is, for us to win statistically, I don't care. I think he's capable of doing whatever we need him to do to win. That's it. Now, when we get him back in that position, with nobody else in the league has that. The Knicks got it. That's what Josh Hart is. But he's not 6'10", 250, all muscle. But he gets that job done, though. You got fucking Draymond Green, who everybody hates. Scottie, they don't like it. You don't want to be compared to Draymond Green. 4 championships. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Defensive Player of the Year, all defensive, all-star. Everything checks out with the achievements, with minimum athleticism. Scottie has all the athleticism. Better offensively. The only thing he got over Scottie is that his voice. He's more of a general because he's been able to play his position. Scottie was put in a place of, you got to be the star now. Imagine if they would have asked Draymond Green to be the star of fucking Golden State. And we're going to build around you. Exactly. Exactly. If the fucking Golden State was like, listen, we like what we got in you. Now we're going to build around Draymond. Exactly. They need a Steph Curry. They need a Clay. They need Sean Livingston. They need Iguodala. Yeah. They need all them other pieces. And he made everybody shine. And he got all the respect and credit he deserved while doing all the weirdo shit. Of course, Scottie is a better player. But we got to get him to achieve as much. I want those achievements. I want the accolades. So that when it's time for him to retire, everybody's like, you know what? That might be the best number 4 pick ever. Easy. First ballot Hall of Famer, no problem. They picked another great one. All because we let him get back into position. We tried it. I think it wouldn't have been no different if anybody else who plays his style of play would have been put in a position to be the star. He's never been put in a position where we want to see if you can average this. Like, he's being compared to all the other superstars who are just scorers and have been working on that bullshit for years. He's an all-around threat. But the game isn't catering to that. So he had to come into the NBA and learn all new skills. In real time, he had to learn all new skills to use at the NBA level in real time, while not doing the shit that he's normally known for or comfortable doing. We ain't seen no footage of him beating nobody off the dribble at Florida State like that. We saw him shutting shit down defensively. We saw him running the offense, grabbing rebounds. We ain't seen him doing all that shit in high school when he was playing with Cade. He was shutting shit down, running the offense. We're getting him back into his natural position. I don't think the coach is gonna have to worry about Scottie. I think the coach is gonna have to make sure everybody understands that when that man give you the rock, you better cash out. Just cash out. I agree. We did want Scottie to be Giannis. I agree. But Giannis had something that Scottie didn't have. He had Jason Kidd. Giannis isn't Giannis. Giannis is a 6'9" Jason Kidd. I want you to look at his game. Jason Kidd created a 6'9" Jason Kidd. That's all he did. That's what a real superstar does. You can create another version of yourself. Easy. Michael Jordan could have did that years ago. Never wanted to. Never wanted to pass none of that information down. None of it. That's one of the things I hold against him. Like Kobe had to beg for the information. You see what Jason Kidd with in 3 years. Jason Kidd wasn't the coach long in Milwaukee. It took him like 3 years to turn Giannis into that monster that we see. That in the weight room. That's all. That's a whole Jason Kidd. That's all it is. 6'9" is Jason Kidd. If we had Jason Kidd as our coach, no doubt Scottie would be further along because he would teach him how to use more of his assets. He would have let him play his game as opposed to having him develop a jump shot in the NBA. An NBA quality. He had to develop an NBA quality jump shot in the NBA. Most guys develop that shit. It takes them years. High school, college, you get to the league, and then you work a little bit, and then you get comfortable. He's working on something truly new and trying to keep up with the Joneses at the same time in that regard. We were asking for too much. We were. We definitely were. I ain't gonna lie. We were asking for a lot. To ask a guy who's not known as a shooter or a three-point shooter or a guy that can go off the dribble to do it at an NBA level, not at a rec league level, not at a summer league level, not at the league. You ain't never have to do that nowhere else, but we need you to do that shit now. Figure it out. And he tried. We got to give him the E for effort. That's why I'm not that hard on him. That's why I'm happy with him going to his natural supporting space because he's still going to shine. He's still going to be an all-star. I don't think we need a coach that'll help. He'll be fine. That might be true. But I mean, we all, are like that when something is on the line. It's like fight or flight. But sometimes we got to be put in a space where we're comfortable, where we're doing what we're used to doing. Like he hasn't had a chance to do what he's used to doing. After that first rookie of the year season, he's been under the spotlight. Can he be? And listen, we found out what it is. Sometimes, all right, let's see what it is. Now we know what it is. We can go. We could all move on now. We might have to wait a little longer, or it's going to metamorphosize in another form of fashion. It's cool. We just not getting that. You know what I mean? Because we want him to save the league. I ain't gonna even lie to you. He's like, this nigga gonna save the league. And it's all right, man. It's all right. It's cool. But at least he got the opportunity. We gave him the opportunity. All right, now cool. That's all right. It's all right. I'm just looking forward to us getting back to winning. Because we already know it's about entertainment and they made the basketball. The NBA conversation is bigger than the game now. They're all in with the conversation, every podcast. I'm hearing more of the shit I said throughout the years than anything. It's like, all right, now I got to invent something else, which is cool because I already have, which is dope. But they're gonna run out of shit to say, and that's all I've been waiting for. Everything is settling down. We're used to seeing everybody. Now everything gets back to normal. That Stephen A. getting 100 million is like, I need that, and I might have to plug to do that. So we'll see. Let's apply pressure and see what happens. Yep. Yep. Feel the same way. I feel the same way. I don't even want to wait till next season. I'd rather we get through what we got to get through now and start soon as the playoffs start. Just start as soon as the playoffs start. There's some paper on the line right now. Definitely some paper on the line. See what happens. I'm definitely gonna play my position. But this cold kicked my ass. But had a chance to sit back and just watch. I've been watching a lot of Gil, a lot of 520, and I'm like, these niggas sound like me. I mean, even Cam and Mace, we all from New York, but I'm like, okay, this shit is now more other people are getting into sports too. I'm seeing other dudes from I'm like, oh wow, they saw Stephen A. get that 100 million. Now everybody, I'm like, all right, I love it. I love it. Nah, I don't want us to go into playing. Not at all. Nah, nah, no, nah. Nah. That'll put too much pressure on them. And if they don't, deliver, then it's gonna be, you know what I mean? Like they don't deserve that. You know what I mean? Like, you know how we take playoff losses. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to the playoffs, we all different animals as fans. Like the minute they lose, like God, like yeah, motherfuckers might want Darko fired right now and wonder why Ingram ain't playing and he's not supposed to be playing and why Scottie did this and nah, we can't put them under that type of pressure. We cool. We played our hand. We gonna step away for a second. We'll be back to the table come the summertime. In a couple of weeks, we'll get our draft pick. Scare the shit out of y'all with another great decision in the summertime. And then, we'll watch Nick Nurse get fired. You know what I mean? Maybe Doc Rivers get fired too. You know what I mean? See if the Cavs can make a run. If they don't, LeBron's a free agent this summer. That's all I'm saying. I told y'all LeBron's going back to Cleveland. If they lose in the second round, LeBron is going back to Cleveland. Bet money. If they don't make it to the conference finals, game 6 at the least, they're gonna trade Donovan Mitchell. Because it's the same thing that happened when he was with Utah. Magnificent team. That team could have went all the way. But I knew when Rudy Gobert did that goofy shit with COVID and everybody got sick, I was like, I told everybody, I'm like, they're gonna break that team up. It's over. No, you don't know what you're talking about. He was just playing. Yo, he gave everybody COVID. They hate that motherfucker. Donovan Mitchell still don't like him. Broke that team up. They had a dope ass. I love that team. The Utah Jazz were fire. They just couldn't figure it out in the playoffs. They ran into Jamal. Like, listen, they didn't stick around long enough. They could be in the same position Denver was in. They just didn't hang. They didn't stick around long enough. But we gonna see. We see if the Knicks can make that run. They just need a bench. If they don't make it, and I think if the Knicks fall short too, coach is gone. I told y'all I thought he was gonna be fired 3 years ago. Actually, with them new acquisitions, it brought him more time. But I think if they don't go as far as they supposed to go, he's fired. Because I'm seeing something new from Dolan. He's at the podcast with Jalen Brunson. You hear me? Dolan is in the podcast sitting with Jalen Brunson having the he already picked his side. Think they won't fire coach. Shit, they'll fire the shit out of Tibbs. Get a new coach before you could blink your eyes and say summertime, summertime, summertime. That boy on the hot seat. The Knicks got a good enough team to win it all. Just with the starting 5 alone, if you can mix it right. That starting 5 is a masterpiece. Don't get it fucked up. Everybody talking about Cleveland. You put OG on Mitchell. You put Bridges on Darius. Let's see if Tevin Campbell and Josh Allen can win y'all 6 games or 4 games. Let's see. They can't. Strus is, we know what Strus is. He's like, Strus is, he comes off the bench. You got him starting, you think he's gonna do cool, no problem. He's not with Miami for a reason. I'm telling you right now, they put them two dudes on those two dudes, the Knicks will they'll go right through Cleveland. They'll go right through Boston. You just took away 40% of the offense. Now those other guys got to figure out how to get it out the mud and win. They haven't won a game following Tevin Campbell or Josh Allen. They follow Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. You shut them down, or if you just shut one, you make it difficult. They can get their numbers, but make them take all day to get those numbers. They out of there. Same thing with Boston. Out of there. Fuck you, take 63 threes against the number one team in the NBA. And still lose. Every game ain't meant to be a shootout. If you a Boston fan, there's no way. Every game should not be a shootout because some of these teams are going to break you in half. Shea is not to be played with. He going to get 30 on whoever you put on him. That's Drew Holiday included. And that's the beginning of the end. But we'll see. We'll see. The Pacers got to trust Tyrese Halliburton. That's interesting. He finally get back in the swag. It took him like, what, 60% of the fucking season to get back into form? Let's see if he can last through the playoffs. They got to feed Pascal. They still haven't developed the big fella. Let's see if they can make him run. That'll be interesting. Other than that, it's a dub. Detroit, you relying on them same vets that couldn't go nowhere else. Cade is going to be Cade. He finally, that boy looked like Grant Hill out there a little bit, minus the athleticism. Great fourth season. Took him 4 years, but hey, he did it. I think we're fine. We make a couple good decisions, watch a couple teams fall apart, some doubt creep in. Shit. We might end up with something. These teams ain't teams like you think. They ain't all together like you think. Losing exposes the truth. That's one thing we all know. Losing exposes the fucking truth. Let's see. Let's see what they look like after they lose. Let's see what happened with the Bucks. Kevin Porter might have saved he might have saved Doc's job and their season. Getting Kevin Porter was a big move because G Money wasn't the answer. He's almost out the league. Like, I hate to say it, he might be out the league. What's good for? Denver, Boston. I got Denver in 5. 6 maybe, but I got Denver in 5 for sure. I don't think Boston. I thought they were gonna meet last year. I don't even understand how they lost to how they didn't get past who they lost to? Was it Dallas or the Timberwolves? Because they didn't have a bench. I thought the T-Wolves was gonna make it. I think the Timberwolves could have also beat Boston last year. Dallas was the best case scenario for Boston. But this year, if Denver makes it with the way they playing, they got Russ coming off the bench, it's a problem. All them threes, and they don't play the same regular season shit that they be doing. They don't do none of that shit in the playoffs. They're not shooting 60 threes, 45 threes. You lucky if you see 38, maybe 40 threes in one game. Maybe. They're going to get back to averaging 37, 38 threes a game, and they can't beat nobody doing it that way. I got Denver. Yeah, I'm sleeping on Boston. Yeah. I'm sleeping on Boston. I just don't like the fact that they don't do any of this shit that made them relevant. Like all this shit that Brad Stevens had them work on, they're settling for the easy way out, shooting massive amount of threes, and nah, you can't respect it. It looks too much like child's play. Hold on, let me go get my adapter. Yeah, I hope Russ get a chip too. I just don't want to. I don't want to see fucking what's the name win MVP again though. I don't want to see Joker win MVP again. I think Shea should have won MVP last year, and this should be his second MVP this year. Because they campaigning hard for Joker to win another MVP for whatever reason. I agree. I don't think they're ready to make a deep playoff run, but I think that regular season hustle, they got that shit down packed to the point where homie should have won MVP. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like how many MVPs you gonna give Joker? And they don't have none of the like normally when you got a guy who wins that many MVPs, they're in the finals a lot more often than not. Like they went to one finals. He's got 3 MVPs consecutive. And nobody blamed him for the losses or none of that. When they win, it's Joker. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't like the narrative they're creating around him. He's a great player. But when you're saying the best player in the league had the best season, Shea Alexander is last season was crazy. He should have won MVP. This season is even crazier because everybody saw what he did last season. This should be a second MVP. If Donovan Mitchell isn't in that race, I'd be like, I didn't understand why fucking Jason. It's like it's like the Jason Tatum thing also when it comes to Donovan Mitchell. For some reason, some type of players aren't looked at like other players. For some reason, they just get swept under the rug. Like Jason Tatum averaged 30 a game. He's the first Celtic to average 30. And he wasn't even like in the high, like top 3, top 4, and even really in consideration for the MVP. We just knew he wasn't going to win MVP, which is crazy. I think Donovan Mitchell is in that category. At some point, they got to figure that out. Yeah, definitely. The young boys do run that regular season, and the vet should run the playoffs. But you just want to see something cross over. You know what I mean? Because we know the calls are going to be different. Everything is going to be different. We'll see. I don't think they sleeping on Jamal Murray. I think I think the fact that he's on a team where Joker gets all the praise, right? While he was injured, like in the beginning, it was all about him. Then he got hurt. Joker was able to gain some momentum, and he hasn't let go of that star role in Denver. Everything is Joker now, and you're not even allowing Jamal to play the same type of game that he played in the bubble. You know what I mean? Or pre-injury. Now you're looking at him as he's the plus one. So we don't look at him like we used to look at him. He's super talented, incredible, but you're looking at him as a plus one now, as opposed to the A1 star, which he was before the injury. Yeah, Shea should win MVP. I think, yo, you know what I realized? The playoffs are about systems also. It's not so like you're gonna have this, but it's about that system. It's about a lot of the coaches' decisions too. That's when you get to see some of the coaches, you know, acumen or their coaching level and ability. Because a lot of times, a lot of these coaches are hiding behind some superstars, and then when it's time for them to make some of these key decisions that mean a lot, they're not able to make them, and they should be penalized for them. I mean, you know what they doing though, Gil's Arena. Like, believe it or not, Gil knows about basketball, but right now he's in the entertainment. He put that team together for entertainment purposes. Like, don't nobody take what they say serious. You saw what they did when Stephen A. got up there. When King Cooper got up there. Everybody it was yeah. It was very tame. Very tame. You know what I mean? Very tame. Yeah, of course they running their course. It's running their course. You know what I mean? It's running their course. They trying to figure out how to get to that 100 mil. That's all they doing. These niggas just hustling. Yeah, watching Gil Arena was interesting. Once I saw when Steve O was up there, I was like, oh, I see what it is. I'm out. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I see what they doing. They trying to get on the big network, trying to get that bag. All right, cool. We might as well all try and get the bag then. I don't think it matters how far the Golden State Warriors go. Jimmy Butler isn't going to be that big of a factor for them. It's not like Clay. Clay was instant buckets, great shooting, not a lot of dribbles. Now you got a guy that's a lot of dribbles. He plays defense. Sometimes good offensively. Now you're still relying on fucking Steph, who's in his 16th year, to hit shots and save the day. It all depends on the matchup and how much respect teams got for Steph. Because if a team don't respect Steph and they go right at them, they can get them out of there in 6. Steph is going to get them 2 games. I think Draymond, he can do enough playmaking to get them a 3rd game. I don't know about Jimmy because you don't know how Jimmy is going to translate in the playoffs. He's a great 2-way player, but when you need him to get a bucket, he takes so much time off the clock that limits the amount of shooting opportunities that Steph got or that Steph's going to get. See, the thing about Golden State, they played at a certain pace and Steph got enough opportunities. With Jimmy, he dribbles a lot. When he gets it going, it's not as fast a pace scoring, which means Steph isn't going to have as many opportunities to shoot, genuinely. He's not going to have the same amount of looks. So you may not get the same production out of Steph. It may cost them down the line. Playoff Jimmy is real, but he takes too much time off the clock when he plays his style of play. And Steph plays the team is, like I said, they move at a different pace. And Jimmy don't move at that pace. And that's not his game. Like when you get playoff Jimmy, Jimmy is more deliberate and cerebral. Tactician. He gets his dribbles, he attacks, that takes time off the clock and possession. It slows the game down. He throws a lot of ice on the heat that they provide as far as the style of play. Depends on who they play against. It depends on who they play against. If they go up against the Lakers, they may have a shot because the Lakers don't really have a bench. Depending on who they go up against. If they go up against Denver or OKC or you know what I mean, shit, even Houston will give them problems. You know what I mean? Timberwolves will give them problems. Clippers will give them problems. Like there's a lot of time. There's quite a few teams that will give. Like it depends on the matchup for Golden State because you're relying heavily on Steph to play at a certain pace versus Jimmy's pace. If Jimmy gets going, Jimmy's teams aren't known for fast-paced scoring. When Jimmy gets going, it's slow. 87 shots maybe when they're used to shooting 92, 94, 95 shots. Key word is probably. You saying probably could adjust. Probably. But we're saying a guy who plays a certain way in the playoffs. You're not going to change that overnight. Like when you watch Clay was one shot, one kill. He was very efficient. Jimmy, not so efficient, not even close. And he volume dribbles when he gets going. That's going to put a lot. They're going to be sitting there watching him go one-on-one. Just, we're going to see. Oh, shit. Good looking out, for. I appreciate that. True indeed. Good looking out. I want to see Westbrook just win it. Like everybody else, if Russ wins it, it's going to be emotional. You know what I mean? It'll bring the right amount of emotion because it'll be somebody that really deserves it. We haven't seen a player that we actually believe deserves to be a champion. Like, that's one of the reasons I was thinking about this a couple days ago. The reason why nobody really likes Jason Tatum as the face of the league, his story. He don't have a story that we could connect with or that we care for. He's a great player. But that story is what makes us, like, we don't even know why Joke is MVP. We don't connect with his fucking story either. During the regular season, he's a ball player. He's nice, but in the offseason, he drinks beers, go to parties, and rides horses. He's an everyday, old-fashioned, regular guy. Yeah, that's what they paint him as. Blue collar. All right, cool. So there's a connection to that. They can sell that angle. You can't really sell, you know what I mean, Jason Tatum like that. And he wants to be the face. But you can't sell it because there's no story. A lot of these players that we're seeing, a lot of these teams, they haven't failed enough to truly deserve our admiration for what they've overcome. Everybody wants to avoid the friction and the conflict, but they want to be celebrated for the little that they do. So they want to give us the minimum of the minimum, but want us to give them maximum praise when Denzel has a movie coming out the same night. And there's Dragons on Max. I think I'd rather watch HBO and watch, what, we got dragons? I'm watching HBO. Any movie that got dragons in it, I'm watching that over some NBA teams. Because their story isn't compelling. Everybody wants to be this made artifact, already a superstar. Perfect. The perfect clothes, the perfect jewelry, the perfect car, everything is perfect. Except the execution. The execution is a D+. And then you're like, nah, treat me like an A student. It's not how we do that. We leave kids behind in my generation. We'll tell you, get the fuck out of our face in my generation. We seeing D+ performances and they want us to praise it like it's A+ work when we know that there's more that can be given. We don't get that electricity. When Mike played, there was this sense of urgency I don't have forever. When Kobe played, they play as if we're not going to be here forever. These kids are playing like I already made it and they're going to be here forever. Then they're going to get on a podcast and cry about it. Nah, I didn't make the most of my career. I left some money on the table. Life could be different. We don't want to hear that shit. You got an opportunity of a lifetime and you treated it like it's opening up a refrigerator. This shit ain't normal. This is some magnificent made up shit that you got to take advantage of to set the rest of your family up forever. And you coming in bullshitting. Like you already made it and you want us to jack that when we seen the greatest. Nah, motherfucker, we comparing you to everything we've seen up until this point. We've seen the greatest power forwards, the greatest guards, the greatest centers. We've seen them and we're comparing you to that. We're not accepting D+. We're not accepting that, yo, I think my generation's better. You're all right. You're okay. With technology, you've seen a lot. You don't even have the fucking fundamentals. That's all you need in the NBA is the fundamentals. That's the secret. Master the fundamentals. That's it. They come in doing all that fly shit. Then you find out, nah, I never really worked on the fundamentals. How the fuck you get to the NBA and you never worked on the fundamentals? And then you want us to praise you and get the fuck out of here. Stories ain't. We liked everybody's story, how they had to get better, how they got cut from different teams, how they had to develop and practice and work on their game to become better. Everybody just works on what they want to work on, whatever's popular, and expect us to jack it. Nah, we good. You know what I mean? That's why when you say who's the face of the league, none of y'all. They ain't even no team. Back in the day, if you were the face of the team, it's because your team was the face of the league. And there were many faces. There's no team that's the face of the NBA. That's why there's no face of the league. That's it. There's nobody whose story, there's no struggle. We just heard the Kyrie story. How the reason why he don't like some of these dudes. I didn't hear I didn't know they tried to play him when he was in high school. He was nice. He was always nice. Nah, niggas played Kyrie. That's why he treat them the way he treat them. If you throw that in the story, it makes it interesting. Maybe Kyrie would have been the face of the league years ago. Then we understand why Kyrie is the way Kyrie is. Why he was the way he was on the court. I knew there was a deeper story why he acted the way he acted. He ain't like none of these niggas because they tried to play him. That's why he buried certain dudes. That's why certain dudes got the business in front of the world. Because they was running their mouth when they were, man, listen. When you hear those stories, you're like, yo, if you give us that, that's some dope shit. That's some dope shit. There's no more stories. There's no more, you want us to make you the face of the league, but we know the whole league is affiliated. Been that way for the last 22 years, 23 years? Every player clicked up. NBA know that. So there's always going to be division and friction and all that. They're not trying to make y'all the face of the league. Y'all doing too much. Y'all going to fuck up the money. Y'all going to scare the money away. You can't be in the streets and be a ball player at the pro level. And then the league got a $76 billion deal. And you want to be the face. Nah, B. There's a reason why they ain't make fucking Melo the face. We all know the reason why. We know. Has to be understood. But it's like, I don't think we ever gonna see the face because these niggas know who these kids are in real life. There's nobody that has a basketball story that makes us believe that you should wear that crown. Even LeBron. Nobody liked LeBron when LeBron got to the NBA. Because they called him the king from the gate. Because they were gonna make him that one way or the other. Because they was gonna force all the old heads out. But he had to go through a lot. We watched him go through it. That's what makes his story that much more compelling. So when they say he's the face of the league, cool. He kind of earned it. And everybody keeps making a lot of money when he's around. That's great. But after him, there's nobody else. You can't say Kevin Durant. You can't say none of them are the face of the league. None of them. I don't think we're going to have a face of the league ever again. I think that whole conversation is done. Because these kids are committed to doing some other shit way before they get to the NBA. And the NBA is real particular about who they put in front of the world. Because one mistake could throw it all under the bus. Nah, we can't have Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown too militant. That's why they stay away from him. He's fucking Tony Starks. He's actually a genius. He's actually a genius. Like Jaylen Brown is actually a genius. Super smart. And they gave that dude all that money. He started talking crazy. Like, nigga, if that's the plan, keep the plan the plan. But don't tell us the plan, my nigga. He's doing a lot. Like they gave him the microphone. He was talking about some shit. And they was like, oh, whoa. We didn't think you was gonna go that far or early. Not yet. It's interesting that everybody gets the wake up call when they get to the NBA. Before then, and during the off season is, but as soon as they in the league and the season start, everybody, everybody's Martin Luther or Malcolm. We're gonna see how it play out though. You know what I mean? I don't think we're ever gonna have a face again though. I think that conversation is a tough one because they're competing against so many other people who are cooler. See, back in the day, you had Mike, you had all these people, and it was scattered. It was diversified. You know what I mean? So when you have Michael Jordan as the face of the NBA, he's cool. There wasn't that many other cool people that you can compare him to. Now, you're comparing your cool 21-year-old in the NBA to fucking Kai Cenat. Your 30-year-old to whoever else is popping online. Like, there's people who are just cooler. Now the cool kids have a voice. So it's like, all right, cool, you a ball player. You on TV, you cool, you popping. So a lot of people in my day didn't have a voice or a face because there was no social media. Now the cool motherfuckers just got to hook up their phone and they back to doing cool shit. Doing fly shit. Some people just have a cooler, ordinary life than people with money. Some people are just better at this life shit. I've seen people do it. Made less money, made more money, but just had a better quality of life because they got taste, they got style, they got the it factor. Just some people like that. And it's not a lot of those people in the NBA. There's a lot of them people on social media. We all been to high school. Some of us played sports, but there was just a dude that was cooler. He got prettier girls, got better test scores, dressed better, always had money, respect in the streets. Wasn't really a hooper, but he everything else he was good at. He was better than you at everything. Had no fear of failure, wasn't self-conscious, super confident. We talking at 16, 15 years old. Getting grown women. Like, who is this thing? Thinking because you a ball player, you doing it. This is like hopping in the car after school. Like, who's that? That ain't his auntie. Nah, that's his. I know niggas that had sugar mamas in the 90s. It's crazy. The NBA ain't got the cool guys, man. All the cool guys are online. Just yeah. I don't hoop. I don't play sports. I'm just cool as shit. Just watch. You'll see. You figure out, oh, this nigga dope. This nigga make the same amount of money as you. Got a $500,000 house, 3,500 square feet, Rolls Royce. Because he know how to he know how to mingle with the credit and keep all the bills paid and make a couple moves here and there. He just know how to live better. There's just people that just know how to do shit better. And they look cooler doing it. So it's harder for people to look at NBA players and be like, they the coolest because they got money. Money don't make you cool. The NBA is full of cornballs with money. We see them all the time. There's dudes, for every NBA dude that got like used by chicks and finessed by chicks, there's a dude with no money that's finessing all of them. There's a dude that woke up this morning, brushed his hair, brushed his teeth, and is calling the same girl you calling with your $100 million contract. And you're like, yo, what you getting into tonight? She dubbing you and going to see him. Whether he on a futon or air mattress. Whether they eating that fucking Nobu or they eating hot wings out the chicken out of air fryer. she gonna rock with that nigga just like she gonna rock with you because he cooler. He might just be a Walmart manager right now, chilling. You out here dunking on niggas and working out and eating perfectly fine. You in the best shape of your life. But this nigga just cooling. He work at Walmart and he's still smashing the same girl you smashing with no money down. Because he cooler. That's why there's no face of the NBA. Because the truth is, the same dudes that you think is popping in the NBA, there's a regular nigga that's just cooler. That the girls, the females pick who the face of the NBA is. Can we say that already? I didn't want to say that. Females pick who the face is. These females ain't pick none of these niggas. They sizing them up and lining them up. And then fucking with niggas at the Waffle House. These niggas is getting $100 million contracts. And there's a nigga at the Waffle House right now, chilling with your girl. And getting the same girls. All them chicks on Instagram, there's a regular dude popping up. While niggas in the NBA is paying $5,000 for the night. That's why there's no face of the NBA. Because the cool niggas took back over the planet. Are there people cooler than me? Yes. 10,000 times cooler. 30 years younger. Can't touch them. They just got it. I've been seeing this shit since the 90s. Some kids are born with it. The NBA players don't have the it factor no more. Sorry. It's unfortunate. That's why we're never going to have the face of the league. It's just the truth. There's a nigga that's never going to make the money that you make. Never experienced none of the stuff you're going to ever experience. And he's always going to be considered cooler when he walk in the barbershop. The same barber that cut your hair for $500 is a nigga that he'll cut his hair for $12. Charge him. He could tip him and give him a $20 bill. And he'll be like, all right, cool. But he'll charge you $500. Because you ain't cool. Cool niggas don't pay for nothing. Cool niggas don't pay for nothing. They don't wait online. None of that. There's some things money can't buy. The NBA players can't buy. They can't buy their way into being cool. There's dudes who go to the same club that you go to that didn't pay nothing. Just walk right in, sitting in the VIP with you. You bought bottles. You got models. They chilling. They have to pay for nothing because they just cooler. I've been places. I'm sitting there like, how the fuck I get here? I just was going out to chill. This nigga got me. True story. Homie called me, was like, yo, what you doing? Nothing. All right, come with me. We hanging out for a little bit. For a little bit. We hanging out for a little bit. We ain't up at a club. I'm like, nigga, I ain't got no money for the club. What we doing? Nah, don't worry about it. Just come on. We going upstairs. Upstairs? We go to the club. We in the fucking VIP. Buying drinks. We chilling. Dance with bitches. I'm like, yo, what the I'm amazed that this was, what you mean? What are you doing? I'm looking at him like, who the fuck? What are you doing? What? Nah, I just want to get out the house. What are you doing? How the fuck do we get here? We behind the rope. I ain't know. Yo, behind the rope. People are looking at us like nigga, I'm regular. People looking at me like, how the fuck you? I don't know. Nigga, I'm regular. I'm like you. How the fuck you over there and I'm over here? Did you pay to get in? Nigga, we paid to get in. You paid? I don't even, how much it costs? I don't even know how much it costs. We sitting there, he looking at me like, yo, go grab a bottle. Grab a stay bottle. Nah, grab that shit. Let's pour some drink. Just drink. Nigga, this they paid. They showing girls money. We sitting right next to these dudes. I'm like, yo, how the fuck we get here? We leave. He's dancing in the crowd. I'm thinking we leaving. He like I said, he's dancing in the crowd. He's like, hey, yo, come on over here. I come over there. We on up. He dancing. You get a chick. Like, hey, yo, dance with my man. She's like, okay. She starts dancing. I'm like, what? Who the fuck is? Why are you like this? I'm thinking we just gonna drive around, chop it up, catch up. I'm trying to keep my composure because I know that was just on a humbug, just something to do. Some cool shit. I'm sitting there like, yo, the fuck just happened? I thought we was gonna go grab a couple drinks, maybe a few beers, play some pool. No, nigga, we fucking club. Didn't have to pay for nothing. Niggas is buying, throwing hundred. I'm like, yo, the world is different. And that's why this just cool shit. Cool people know how to do cool shit. And there's no NBA player that's cool. The money don't make you cool. I'm sorry. I like the Big O. I like that kid. He looked like he belongs on the basketball court. I heard about AJ Lawson last year. It's dope. It's dope to see them getting theirs. It's dope to see them getting theirs. Them threes to score 32 points off the bench. It's impressive. Definitely impressive. Anytime somebody can score 32 off the bench, it's like you earned yourself an opportunity. You earned yourself a couple dollars. You definitely earned yourself a couple. Everybody, you could count on one hand this year if that's happened. A guy came off the bench and gave up, and he's not afraid to shoot. That's why I say I like the guys we got. We got guys who are not afraid to shoot, and they don't have to have the rock. They'll just wait for their opportunity, and they shoot it. But let's see what happens with that 7th pick if we maintain it. Let's see who's available because Cooper Flag might be out for the whole NCAA tournament. I heard they trying to talk him in the stand. They trying to keep him because he don't want to go to Washington. There's certain teams Cooper Flag don't want to play for. I told y'all they trying to get him to a certain market, and if that team isn't going to be able to get him, I think they're going to force. They're going to try and convince him to stay another year. I don't think he's going to be the face of the league either. They have to create the story. They need a great story. He's cool though. Don't get it twisted. He's cool. He definitely has the it factor. But there has to be a story that pulls everybody in. There has to be, you got to give us the reason to be like, right now he's unstoppable. That's a good enough reason. Can't nobody do shit with him. I'm gonna have to look up Trey Johnson. I'll probably look that up today before I get ready for work. Oh shit. This cold is definitely kicking my ass. Yo, you know what I like most about Orlando Robinson? Whenever he does something good on defense, whenever he go on offense, yo, he be expecting to rock. Yo, every time he does, he gets a block or a rebound. Yo, he comes down the court expecting to get the ball, and they they don't give it to him, yo. They don't ever give it to him. Like he be showing his hands and all that. Yo, feed me. Niggas is shooting threes. I know he be tight, but he definitely knows how to play. I like his. He knows his way around the court. But yeah, the niggas don't be giving the rock though. Yeah, they never give it to him. Like every time he get a block or rebound, he be having his hands up ready. They be like, nah, we gonna shoot. They be shooting. I know he be tight. He gotta be. He gotta be. Oh shit, it's almost time for me to start getting ready for work. But yo, I had to holler at y'all. Even though I'm under the weather, I've been sick, like I said, the last couple days. Yeah, Yeah, I definitely got. Yeah, I definitely need the Vicks. Yeah, for sure. I'm about to take care of all that right now. I'm drinking Theraflu. I still got a shift I got to do. But yo, I'ma holler at y'all. I just need to let y'all know I ain't forget. It's just that I was under the weather. I was fucked up for a little bit. I ain't been sick in 5 years, and I'm just now caught a cold. So I'ma holler at y'all. Shit, I'm definitely gonna be late today. But yo, y'all be cool. I'ma holler at y'all. Peace. Thanks.